Okay
Like,
then. We're live, right?
yep, you're live.
Righty then. Hello and welcome to what is this? The first game of the stream.
Yep, this is going to be the first game of the stream tonight.
MRCZ versus Virtual 5. Should be an interesting game on Consulate. I'm joined with my co-caster.
You're dead.
What? Your dad? Okay, your dad, YT. Uh,
Yep,
and a
well,
good evening to everyone.
over
And
here.
good luck to both teams.
Yep, I think we should go. We should be starting in about a
Yeah,
minute.
in about a minute. Yep.
Yep, just waiting on confirmation from both teams that they're ready.
Mm-hmm. This should, in fact, be quite the interesting matchup. MRCs and V5 both are great teams. And, you know, pretty strong on both sides, even though this time on Virtual 5's end, I'm not seeing the inclusion of Phantom. Has been. He's not playing tonight from the looks of it. He's going to be replaced by Adigro? Adigro, right.
Adigro, I guess.
Adigro? I don't
I'm
know.
I'm sorry for pronouncing your name wrong.
We are definitely butchering this name right here.
Yes. Uh,
And MRCZ, the other day, the way they played against Quantum G1, I was certainly taken aback by how G1 was almost steamrolled 7-3.
I
So,
I was not casting that game, hence I do not know
yeah.
about that game. But uh, having Quantum G1 getting streamrolled by V5, that's something that
That,
speaks a lot
yeah.
about what V5 has got.
Not, was it FIFA? I don't know. I think it was MRCZ.
I'm not sure.
Let me just quickly check.
Irrespective of that, MRCZ is a very strong team. They've been playing for a
Yes.
while together, and
Yep. They
and
are quite the powerful team and quite a force to be reckoned with.
and I'd
Not
say
to.
that teams that have scrimmed together more have a better chance of teams have a better chance against a team that has just got players that are better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think we should be ready for all.
Yep. They
Uh,
are saying that they are ready.
all right. So we should be starting.
Indeed, we should. And there we
Yes.
go. The match
Consulate,
has begun.
consulate,
Consulate on day.
P5 on defense, and Team Mercenaries on attack.
Mhm.
So what do you think about the bans, Blackjack?
So, a map like Consulate, you're looking at probably if I have to talk about defender bands first, you're probably looking at a Valkyrie band for Intel. Valkyrie is quite instrumental, and the Thatcher band
Coming from roof.
for.
That means that basement's gonna be something that people have to attack from piano.
Yep, they're gonna have to come around from above, from the yellow stairs, from the blue side, Visa stairs and stuff like that, spiral. If they can open, in case they can, then of course that just goes without question. And the Capita band gonna take out the smokes and flames from the equation
This
right here
means
now.
that bandit tricking might be possible for some walls, and
It would definitely be a little easier if you have like a Jaeger with an ADS watching any possible grenade entry points. You'll be good.
a Mira ban coming in. Mira not exactly Consulate, not exactly the best map for Mira, but you can get really creative with the Mira, I guess.
Exactly, especially on the top floor side, you can be very instrumental in holding down admin like CEO with a Mira, a properly placed Mira, and there we go, the
You
Valkyrie
remember
band.
that? You remember that Pengu hold on the
Yes,
connector wall that
yes.
then T2 or then Penta
Mm-hmm.
used to do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and people didn't figure out that you could go downstairs and buck the floor open.
Mm-hmm. Vertical play has really evolved ever since the days from Penta and early G2, and now it's just something like really, really scary if done well. If they have a buck or even a jackal or a gridlock, vertical play, like you have to have roamers to stop that vertical play. Otherwise, sight will be opened up quite easily. In most cases, anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So we've got smoke and mute. That's two shotguns on defense. I'm guessing Maestro has got his bailiff for them, and we have an
He would.
And we have a Nomad as well. That means that
Mhm.
we've got pos uh, a very low possibility of runouts.
Or at the
Attackers
very
need to
least, a
locate and
run-up
defuse
deterrent
bombs.
immediately, which is nice.
And okay, one sec. Uh, yep, there we go.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be a top floor defense coming out from B5, and this is
Attackers
gonna be
have located a
interesting
bomb.
considering from which side the defenders want to push in. Because as far as I'm seeing right now, they've got drones everywhere for admin
Right?
builds.
Yeah, right now they're just scouting out which places are the weakest for
10 seconds left.
V5, which place they can get in from, which place they can make the push out of, and
5
form
seconds
their
to go.
strategy accordingly. Usually there would be an admin push. Now I'm curious to see whether or not they do it. They do have a yellow hold absolutely ready with the ADS, the
And
jammer, and the pests.
this
So
does seem like this is gonna be an admin push.
looks like it.
They've got all attackers spawning on that side of the
All-
map.
All the bodies spawning towards admin, so we might have an admin push. We have a Hibana going up to admin as expected. We have Ash here as well. Windows are being broken. They're gonna drone out the room in front of them very shortly. In fact, Ash is gonna do that right now. He's gonna bring her drone up.
This is gonna be interesting. Mike's gonna be playing in the basement and he's on cams. He probably got some drones with him. And
I think he may have caught one drone, but I'm not entirely certain. He's gonna be waiting for anybody to push Visa, and if Visa's clear, he might go up, push through Visa stairs to admin, see if he can get anywhere from there. You have Viper on the meat and the Maestro, both watching the hallway.
that's a nice shot from the Maestro onto the Ash. That's gonna be your soft destruction off the board.
One
shield
part of
goes
soft
away for
destruction
the
on the board. Maestro's being assaulted right now, but the Mute's right there with the shotgun to help him. Maestro's gonna back off slowly. Mute, dazed from a concussion by Zofia, but not gonna be affected just yet. And the admin push so far has resulted in one loss for the attacking team. Make that a loss for the defending team as well. Viper goes down to the hands of Hibana, and now an even game for both teams.
Jaeger's still holding on at the yellow stairs. I think he's worried about a flank coming in from the attackers. But I don't think that there's any attackers that are going to be spawning coming from yellow.
Doesn't look like it. It looks like a predominantly admin push as another body goes down inside of sight, or maybe connector, as Fatah right here will take down one of the defenders. That smoke off the board. Is that smoke? No. I think. Anyway, one of the SAS off the board for the defenders. Both of their shotguns are out of play. Now it's up to Mozzie, Jaeger, and Maestro to hold down this attack.
This Maestro cam is going to be really important. Since Zophie does not have any more of her impact grenades, that Maestro cam is probably going to stay up.
It should, relatively, it should stay relatively bad. Now we have Maestro rotating in bathroom as Lexus is going to get another kill for the attacking side, making it a 4v2, make that a 3v2. Jaeger is going to take down MII7 in the long dusk hallway.
That's Maestro down on the
very
floor, and
lit.
that's going to be a complete lockout from Mercenaries. I think
The
B5
admin
did
push.
not anticipate them pushing 5-man heavy onto admin.
Exactly.
Because
And
they had holds, they had a whole plan for admin, but I do not believe that they were sure that there were going to be 5 people pushing.
more than anything, I don't think they counted on a double soft destruction on both Ash and Zofia pushing from admin at the same time. They took out the Ash, but then Zofia managed to flush out Maestro, forcing him to push back, and Mute was taken care of swiftly after, kind of opening up, printer and long hallway, and then long desk eventually for, MRCZ, which really helped them take sight. And once Nomad came upside down, repelling onto meeting, that just sort of
They just did not have any place to rotate.
To fall back, into safe positions.
If
Attackers
Jaeger
need to
did not
locate
have
and
2 of
defuse
those
the bombs if
ADSs
they
on
can.
yellow, and he had even 1 extra for the shield on Maestro, I think that the
He
round
might
could
have
been
managed to,
different.
the
The
might have
round could
managed to
have been
save.
very different.
Potentially, at least the 1 concussion and 1 destruction made from Zofia taken out there. Possibly even slowing down the attackers to where the defenders could have done something.
The Pulse is going to be coming in out for D5. This is going to be interesting. They pick a Pulse, and they're having no IQ or Jackal on the board. Unless we Mercenaries
seconds
drones
left
out the
before
Pulse, they probably will never know there's a Pulse playing downstairs.
5 seconds
Exactly.
left.
Now, in fact, MRCZ didn't even bring the IQ this time,
Attackers
so
are
they're
heading
gonna have
out
to play
defuse
a
bomb.
roam clear game for the Pulse, who's probably going to be down by
Alright,
round 10
so
to meet.
it's this is looking like a repeat from last round.
Mhm.
Mike's gonna
That-
be playing in the basement this time instead of a Mozzie. He's got the Pulse. He's probably
He's
gonna
going to be spotting anybody coming into Visa. Might be looking for a C4 or a gun kill. Well, not quite a C4 just yet. He's probably just gathering any intel that he can, relaying to his teammates that there are people inside of Visa joining in and out on admin and just the first floor in general.
We've got admin control being taken very early by mercenaries, and there goes your Ash from the Pulse. That's gonna be
That's a C4 from
really,
Pulse. He's
really
going to take out the
disorientating.
Ash. Yep, Mike with the Pulse, just going to get that first kill. Taking Ash down once again in this round.
Ash's entry not that strong like last round. She got picked off early.
Especially in a manner that you really don't want to get picked up early. You know, a C4 from it's not something you want to go down to just quite yet.
That's true. I'd be pissed off.
Like, understandably so, it's like you're pushing, and then suddenly you get blown up. You don't even know from where, and then you see it just
Nomad's on
pulse.
the same repel again. If she does not have enough air jabs covering her back, Pulse could get an easy kill on her repelling.
He should be able to. In fact, he's gonna spot the Nomad's gonna spot the shield. I think that's Maestro behind the shield. No, not.
The smoke is spotted out the Nomad. If he just decides to pick this, he misses the shot and so does Nomad.
Ooh,
Both
dear
of
me.
them missing
He's
their
gonna get
shots.
lit up.
With Nomad getting the advantage in the HP world.
Though still not a kill being confirmed yet. Smoke goes out, like a canister goes out as well.
Smoke gets wall banged from the Nomad. Smoke gets killed by the Ivana. Zofia's inside meeting. They have meeting control already. They cut out the flank with an air jab from connector.
And now they're just pushing the side slowly but steadily. However,
The diffuse is still with Hibana, and Mike goes down. Hibana's covering her back. Hibana can probably get this plant down if he holds on to something. It's just left on the mute with a sliver of HP. The mute's playing close window. Does he know that Hibana's probably gonna flank him?
he showed the marks. The scans are happening from the intel devices for the defending team, and Viper on just
Drone
one
gets
HP is
thrown
gonna
in,
get thrown
gets
out from the
thrown out,
window.
hits the air jab, and that's gonna be GG's for mercenaries again on a top floor defense.
Oh, this time at least the game came a lot closer than last round. MRCZ is being forced to sort of change up how they were pushing initially. Instead of being able to take it straight from long desk, they had to push into sight to try and get all of the frags to clear out for the plant. Almost went sideways, but they managed to pull it back right at the end. And unfortunately, Viper couldn't really do much with the air jabs at 1 HP.
That was unfortunate. I mean, with Nomad on the board, if you've got an air jab down, that flank's basically cut off. You can't have that flank anymore.
Yep.
So
Like, you don't really envy the kind of position Mute was
Defenders,
in right there.
protect
You
your
know,
bombs
you're
from being infused by
there's
attackers.
somebody repelling your window.
That
There's
was
somebody
with
pushing
the
inside.
shotgun. This is gonna be interesting.
The FO12, definitely a very
Very
good
s-
shot.
A very strong shotgun close quarters. Being same order, you can get a lot of shotgun shells down range. Very quickly.
More than anything, just the sheer speed and the rather good spread that it has over distance. It allows you to play some certain mid-range fights as
Yes,
well.
it
You
allows
might
you to
even
take a bit of mid-range fights. Yes, that's true. So V5 gonna change up their site this time. They're gonna be holding bathroom, and they've got trade, so we're
5 seconds left
at
before
a lot of what do you call it?
electricity being
Attackers'
thrown out.
objective is to locate a
A lot
bomb
of-
and defuse it.
Oh, so they're gonna leave the middle wall soft and probably use that reinforcement for something else.
And leaving that middle wall soft, if any of the attackers try to go for that, anyone who's not Bug, Sophia, or Ash, basically, if Ibana goes for that middle wall, they'll be able to shoot out any of the reinforced breachers. But outside of that, they might just be looking to leave it open. Because sometimes if it's a good push from the attackers, good electricity denial push from the attackers, then there really isn't any sense in wasting resources on that entire wall.
Exactly. And the middle wall being the least appropriate of the walls to get open, because when you run in, you can be seen from miles away.
That's mostly from an attacker's perspective, but you know, it works both ways, I would say.
Yeah. Talking about both ways, we've got MRCZ pushing from admin all over again.
Making sure that's
Probably Ash got a better entry this time. She's made her into sight. She's gotten the wall open. The people
she's
playing
gonna
in
be-
bathroom. She's gonna have to contest with the Ella playing in bathroom with the
gonna
shield
get
in front.
Yep. Ash is gonna get concussed for a bit. Ella's just waiting for everybody to peek her. Like she's waiting for intel through the shield or any camera intel that she can get her hands on. As the drone comes out from Ash, gonna spot Ella right now. Breaks
Ella's
the drone, and now
The wall's getting open. Ella needs to decide whether she wants to drop down or not, because once that wall is open, the rotate's gonna be basically crossed out.
Attackers have
A
located
nade
a
goes
bomb.
in by Buck, that's gonna be taken up by the ADS. Ella pushes out, and that's not the play, Mike.
that was definitely not the
the
play. MI7 is just gonna skeleton key her down to the ground, getting that body advantage for the attackers immediately. MRCZ making sure they're felt in this round as Taha gets another kill playing vertical onto Viper, and that is your mute out of the equation with 55 seconds left in the round.
MRCZ is in a nice place to go for the plant right now.
Well, mostly they need to just deal with the Echo and this. Well, they need to deal with all the defenders in sequence,
And
but
the
Echo.
rotate being
Ooh,
cut out by the Zofia all the way from Visa stairs.
yep, not a good time
Jaeger
for.
gets spotted out. Jaeger gets two. Those can be huge kills for Jaeger. The diffuser's
Those
going
can't
down
affect, but
by
the plant is going down from MRCZ just behind the white van. Buck is covering for anybody rotating. In fact, they're not going to finish the plant. They're going to try again. They were just waiting for maybe a call out on the Echo drone. In fact, I think they did get an Echo drone. This time the plant will go
Attackers
off,
activating diffuser.
and now the attackers are going to fall back, hold
Defenders have
stable
eyes on the
positions.
diffuser. Attackers
As
need to
Echo
protect it.
goes down.
Hibana behind
Now-
White Man, and that's gonna be another round in the favor of MRC. Team Mercenaries is really locking out exactly where the defenders are playing. They know exactly where V5 is playing and how they're set up, and
Yep.
they're not allowing V5 to get control of anything that's beyond their control. I mean, V5 is
Exactly.
not being able to even rotate back to site. We saw with Mike.
Nope.
Mike playing in bathroom should have opened up their hatch and let go of bathroom a while back.
Tried
But-
to rotate from another different angle, but he went for that push with the shotgun. Unfortunately, not. I don't think he knew that the Buck was there. Otherwise, the skeleton key. I don't think the skeleton key would have won over the FO12 if Mike knew the Buck was there.
That's true.
But unfortunately, you know, we saw what happened. He got gunned down, and hatch was open. And really, once that vertical play got opened, it was almost just game over
Attackers
right
need
there.
to locate and defuse
That's
as many
true.
bombs as
So
they can.
V5 going back to the basement this time. I think V5 needs to change up the way that they're holding and roaming.
They
The
need to make
bathroom-
sure that they get all the intel that they need. Any intel devices they can spare, they need to put it up where their roamers can utilize them properly. And more than that, even if the
Bomb
roamers
located
get
by attackers.
taken out, they need to make sure they rotate back into safer positions than they were in the last time, because MRCZ almost had it too easy. They were picking them off one by one, and only Jaeger managed to make a dent
10
in
seconds
all.
left before
ADS deployed and
And
ready
even
to
he
go.
was taken out while trying to rotate back into sight.
5 seconds
I
to
mean,
go.
the job of a roamer could be to get kills,
Attackers'
but
objective
I'd
is
say
to
that
defuse
the
a
roamer
bomb.
getting a kill and wasting 2 minutes of a round is way more valuable.
Exactly. If as a roamer you've wasted at least any amount of time for the attackers, is time that is very valuable for your team, because
Exactly, and Mike did waste a little bit of time, but I don't think that was enough.
not enough, nowhere near enough. He needed to stay alive for longer. He needed to maybe drop a body or two, which would have made it a lot, like made the attackers a lot more uneasy pushing the side.
So Zofia's going to be droning in for Buck. It's again an admin side clear. They've got 2F control relatively easier. I don't think that anyone from V5 is going to be roaming upstairs.
No, they're really
And
not.
some bullet holes being set up by the Maestro. Those might prove to be deadly for
Useful
someone.
later on. Well, that depends on how those bullet holes are used. As we see, the middle wall has been opened, the unreinforced section of the garage wall.
Viper using
So
a
far.
shotgun to hold the door for Mike. This is interesting. This is smart play. They're using V5 is actually using what Mercenaries did
There.
last round, and they're trying to change that up.
Which is nice and all. Like given that they hold it down nicely, like Viper's opening the floor, that's well and good and all. As we see, the ADS is going to take out a couple of the flashbangs being pushed in the bathroom, but not the third one.
That's Nomad off the board by Scriptic.
Mm-hmm.
That's your Nomad off the board. So that means no more air jabs unless Nomad had placed all of them down.
Maybe one on the outside, but I don't see Nomad being any more useful at this point.
And Viper has just left the game.
So they might ask for a rehost. That would be the
Maybe
first.
that you can get a repost this time.
Not just yet. They'll have to request it after the round is
Yes.
over. As Mike goes down from the
That's a
Zophia's
frag
gun.
pass, but Kid goes down. That's gonna be a 3v2 in favor of. That's gonna be a 3v1 in favor of
In fact,
Mercenaries.
Yep.
With Adi on the board, he's behind White Man. He might be able to deny this plant, but he gets spotted out by the Hibana. Hibana needs to play careful. She's got the defuse with it, and Mike.
Yep, there we go. The air is going to be taken down by
and we're gonna
MII7.
have a rehost.
And we will, in fact, have a rehost. Apologies for the delay in bringing in the next round. But so far it's been a clean sweep by MRCZ. They've shown up to this game guns blazing.
Yes.
And really, V5 haven't had a chance to like play to their own strengths.
V5
So-
having a squad shift, that might be an.
Might have been what is affecting them slightly. Although I wouldn't really put it up on the squad shift just yet. They are, what was it, like a 4-0 so far with that round?
Yes, that was a clean sweep. Two attacks on the top floor and,
And
two
two on the bottom
attacks on the
floor.
bottom floor.
Yep.
All right, I'll be able to create a dedicated server in 5 minutes. That's
Okay,
unfortunate.
yeah, they really should, like, Ubisoft needs to look into that. Like, disconnections or abandonments, they really shouldn't result in a penalty of 5 whole minutes. I've had troubles hosting games like this as well, where it's like, oh, now I have to wait 5 minutes because we need to have a rehost.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
at least it gives 5 minutes to the team to talk about what's happening.
It's almost like a tactical timeout.
Yes,
Hopefully V5 can
is
bounce
really
back
gonna
from
be
this.
needing these 5 minutes.
They definitely will. Hopefully they can bounce back from the slightly terrible position they are in.
To be
Because
honest,
they do need to
Consulate
take-
is a very. I'd say that Consulate is a very balanced map in terms of attackers versus
It
defenders.
is actually.
And
Uh,
if V5 can get two more rounds on the board and go 4-2 on an attacker split, I'd say they might be able to pull this one in.
Exactly. They will definitely be looking to do that because if you go into your attacking rounds at a 5-1 or, God forbid, a 6-0, you're looking at a very, very tough uphill battle. At 4-2, you at least have a little bit of wiggle room here and there. But 5-1 it's almost a losing battle. And at 6-0, unless you're a team that suddenly becomes something like a G2, you're not really looking at a comeback.
I mean, we've seen G2 Navi, right?
Oh,
We
we
s-
have.
We saw what happened. So
We saw what happened.
yeah. So I mean, even with a 5-1 split, I'd say
There's
that
always a chance,
yeah,
there's always
it's
a chance
Siege.
of a comeback.
It's Siege.
It is
We've-
Rainbow Six, but at the same time,
We've seen
you-
1v5 clutches that I don't think that we have seen in any other game.
exactly. More than anything, it's all about how you execute the plans you have, how you're going about things as a player, and how much intel you've gathered. Really, Siege is a game of knowledge. The more knowledge you have about what's going on, the more you know what's happening in the map at this very moment. The better you can perform as a team and as a player individually.
I'd actually agree with that completely because Siege, unlike other FPS games, if you have game sense, you've basically got half the game in your pocket.
Exactly, and game sense is a must in Siege. Something that a lot of people focus on when they begin Siege. Something I focused on when I began Siege was getting my game sense and my map knowledge. I wasn't really focusing on my aim per se. I was focusing on knowing what the maps are and knowing how I can improve generally to know situations and how to react to them. And then I started working on my aim, and it's actually helped a lot because I had people telling me, work on your aim, work on your aim. And then I had this one guy who told me, no, don't work on your aim, learn the maps first. And I
That's
followed
true.
that advice.
How long have you
I
been playing the game?
So funnily enough, I started at year two, season one, which was Operation Velvet Shell. But I didn't actually start like properly start playing until Operation Health, which was the next season. And I've never looked back since. Siege is like my mainline FPS game,
That's true.
and I would say that even the new direction that Siege is going in, year five onwards with Void Edge and everything after, I would say it's a good direction for Siege because having that pretend realism was kind of holding it back.
Yeah.
Now that they've just sort of shed that exoskeleton, and shed that skin, as you would call it, they will be able to free up a lot more in terms of creativity, in terms of craziness, especially with those mid-season events. You saw the Golden Gun event they're planning, right?
Yes. That's gonna be
That
interesting. That's
exactly.
gonna be like CS:GO in Siege. Just people running and gunning.
Exactly. And you need stuff like that. You need things to keep it spicy, to keep it
Yeah.
fresh at all times, so that the game never grows stale,
Do you
right?
remember the showdown event?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
I mean, people got so much content out of that.
Exactly, because you're playing with a Boss G and a revolver. That is like content gold mine. And the cherry on top was that it was set in the Wild West with recruits. That was beautiful. I still remember, like, it was somewhat frustrating the fact that recruits got their default uniform and they could just sit in the dark corners. Like just camping it out. It's an RNG game and you're just gonna camp it out. It's kind of frustrating, but you know, it's part of the game. So can't really get too mad at it.
Alright, so the bands were Thatcher and what was in there on defense? Oh, sorry,
Uh
Thatcher and my god, I don't remember bands.
okay, hold on.
Alright, you're gonna have to.
Was it Black? No, I don't think it
I
was
don't think it was
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard.
Hold on.
Let me just check.
Let me just It was Capital.
Right,
Capital.
Capital and on
Thatcher,
defense.
Capital, Mira, and Valkyrie.
Alright, so we got the bands got and you've got alright. Season. So, talking about the match now, do you think
Mhm.
that B5 can change something that they're doing probably they shouldn't be doing?
I mean, looking at their holds from their perspective, like not being in the game and looking at the holds that they have had so far, they had pretty much everything in set and in mind. But once things started sort of falling through, once the attackers started making a dent, V5 didn't seem like they had much of an answer to go back and make a refrag or a trade, anything really that would just make a dent in the attacking team, wasn't really there. In the second round, they had that, you know. In the second round, the attackers were like down to like a 1v2, but the air jab came in clutch and Mute wasn't able to finish off the round for the defending side. So primarily speaking, V5 have their strategies in place. They need to execute any like at any point if their strategies sort of fall through, they need to adapt a lot quicker instead of like trying to fall back to side or rotating or roaming, like going for a long flank that they really don't need to, stuff like that, you know, little things here and there that they can change that would help them play a lot better. At least take back sight from attacker control, or at least take out the roam clear. Anything really.
I think V5 just needs to play closer to each other. And
Closer to sight, yeah.
not just closer to sight. I mean, they could be playing closer to each other, right? They could just yeah. You were saying about refrags, and
Hmm.
I haven't seen a lot of refrags coming in from V5.
Exactly. Trades, like trading between kills, wasn't really happening for V5. Once they lost a defender, that's it. They lost that defender. They didn't really get any attackers in return, which kind of hurts because if you're in a 5v4, say, and it remains a 5v4 going into like the last 40 seconds of the round, you are pressured because there's another player on that team that you have to account for while also accounting for the loss of one player on your own team, right?
Yep.
Makes it a little bit more difficult to manage, and more than anything, once it becomes a 5v3 in that situation, it just gets harder and harder the more bodies you lose without trading back onto the attacking team.
I think what V5 might be thinking about right now should, I mean, mercenaries. I think they've just steamrolled through B.
So far, yep, they've just steamrolled every single round that they've had. The only real issue that they had was in round two. I keep going back to round two because that's the only round where we saw V5 almost pull it off. Their side hold. Again, just losing too many bodies early on, or when they lose a body, they don't trade it immediately. They don't have a roamer there to trade. They don't have any sort of intel that helps any roamer to go back and trade. Anyone really. Roamer, lurker, anchor, you name it. It's been a lack of V5 clapping back at MRCZ, to say it that way, you know?
Yep.
Oh, here's hoping that we see. Here's hoping that we get to see like a much better show from V5 going forward. Hopefully they will. Hopefully we get like a game where they start to come back, or even if they go to OT like overtime, I would be happy to see a game like that. Overtime games are some of my favorite games in Siege because it means that both teams are playing at almost an equal level. You know?
I think overtime just gets the sweat out of people.
Mm,
Overtime games get really sweaty. I mean,
they do.
Just look at ranked. Three,
Or rather not.
3-2, and it's a 1v1. Oh boy.
Oh god. Or like round 9 overtimes are the worst in ranked
Oh,
because it's
4-4,
like the
1v1.
whole game depends on one play or one mistake that you could make, and then it just goes all downhill from here.
4v4, 1v5 clutches.
Oh, those are the dream. Like for as a player, getting a 1v4 clutch in like a 1v4 1v5 clutch in a round 9 overtime situation, that is the dream right there.
That's the. I mean, you get your reload. That's true, but
Mhm.
you get something. You get happiness.
You get bragging rights, you know?
I mean, yeah. You can type good night in chat.
Oh yeah. That seems to be a trend now in C, just like good night.
Good night. All right, so we go to a 4-0.
Heard that a little bit of a thing. People are
Yeah.
asking you to increase your mic volume.
I think I
it
did,
seems like-
chat.
you?
I think I increased my volume. It should be fine.
All right. Hopefully it is.
Hopefully it is. Yeah.
So coming back into the game, it's 4-0 in favor of MRCZ, and I did see a Legion being picked. Hold up, what happened? Yeah. So a Legion has been picked by V5 for that late game push. Exactly what we were talking about. Something to punish the late game push because MRCZ is just biding time, gathering intel, and pushing in.
And a Monty 6 pick in an Ash.
Mm.
That's weird.
I mean, people will be expecting Ash regardless. I think you look at a Monty in console and
That's yeah. I don't know why everyone's loading. I'm not loading. Don't blame me. Alright, so we've got an Echo 6 pick from a Doc, and we've got an Monty 6 pick from.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So it's probably going to be an admin push again from the attackers,
Bomb located by
and
attackers.
V5 going back to the top floor. Either bomb sites not working out for V5 right now. The basement or the top floor one.
10
Lobby
seconds
was an
to
option,
insertion.
but V5 does not seem to be looking forward to going to the
5 seconds
lobby.
left.
And
Attackers'
a
objective
hard
is to
roamer
defuse a
coming in
bomb.
from V5. This might not be the exact thing that they want to do right now. And the spawn peak has been spotted out by the Zofia. Scriptic playing safe, runs back. The Legion also in the basement, along with the Vigil, probably setting up some goo mines for the Vigil. So we've got an admin push again from the attackers over here, and Mozzie's placement for that drone gets one drone of Zofia off. That's gonna be
Defender
Vigils
is
run out
exposed.
outside, and that's gonna be a Zofia off the board. Your soft destruction and your concussions go out. Mozzie's still playing admin. He's holding this hard. He has a C4 to play around with if someone decides to repel in, but but Hibana gets him through the soft walls, and that's gonna be a 3v4. V5 shaping up to get their first round on the board, and that's IQ gets the lead, and that's a 3v3. That Buck trades out Adigro. That's gonna be your Jaeger off the board. The plant's going down. Vigil's on Spiral. He might be able to get the planter if
Attackers are active.
they hear him. IQ gets
Attackers need
the
to
plant
protect
goes
the
down
diffuser.
on
Position compromised.
in meeting. Echo's gonna probably have to push up. Runs up yellow, not exactly the best thing. Buck gets in, and that's gonna be a shutout by Mercenaries again. V5 not holding on to the lead that they had. Shift W getting the opposite of what Echo wanted. Echo being a 3 armor should not have probably run up yellow like that. But so V5 on their final defense round decide to go to the basement, and it's been, I mean, the scoreboard says it all. It's 5-0. There's nothing really that V5 can salvage from the defense round now. Maestro getting 6 pick into an alibi, or a Mozzie rather, and at this point I think V5 should just go for frags, stop thinking about strats, and
Defenders, protect your bombs from
just
being
try
defused by
to
attackers.
get one run on the board and not make it a, not let it be a 6-0.
Deployed awaiting targets. All secured.
Mercenary V5 probably should think about holding admin in some way, since an admin clear is going to be coming out from Mercenaries in either way. You can see that the drones
10
being
seconds left
placed
before
for
insertion.
Unrolling razor wire.
5 seconds to
their
insertion.
push onto admin,
Attackers' objective is to locate
and
a
4
bomb and
attackers
defuse it.
spawning
Attackers
together,
drop the
and
diffuser. Attackers recovered the
Ash having
diffuser.
the diffuser. That's going to be interesting. So the final round on defense for V5, we've got Viper playing close and Hello this time. It looks to be a rush. Viper gets traded out. This is Mercenaries just goes all in. It's 4v2 suddenly. Mercenaries gets 3 kills on the board. They've got a Pulse playing site. Ash is already pushed in.
Bomb located by attackers.
Scriptic gonna be probably flanking. If he gets his flank off, this could be interesting. Scriptic gets one, that's gonna be a double for Scriptic. This is gonna be all on Scriptic.
Drop the
He
bomb
gets
diffuser.
the Ash. That's the diffuser down. IQ not exactly sure where the
A
Mozzie is.
bomb has been located.
He could get the plant down. Not
Attackers
exactly
recovered the bomb diffuser.
not possible for the Mozzie to probably predict where the plant's gonna be down. IQ's gonna be planting behind White Man. Probably got drones to cover his. Mozzie
Attackers
hears
are
that.
activating the diffuser.
IQ also knows where the Mozzie is. Now he's looking in the wrong direction. And V5 get their first round on the
Defenders
board.
have eyes on the diffuser. Attackers need to protect it.
And another disconnect from Mercenaries.
Bomb diffuser disabled by defenders. Defender mission successful.
So V5 finally getting one round on the board. And this seems it's V5 searching for a win in this game seems to be looking like, are they gonna ask for a rehost, or maybe they do not need a rehost, they're just gonna finish this 5-1, or rather 4v5. So for their first defense round, Mercenaries is going to be going to the top floor, Consulate and Meeting. And V5 going to be running a Nomad, Ash, Hibana, Buck and IQ. So they have a lot of soft destruction. They have a hard breacher. 4v5 is going to be tough
Defenders,
for
protect your
Mercenaries to
bombs from
hold.
being defused by attackers.
But seeing how Mercenaries has been playing right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to be difficult for them. Bandit, Jaeger, Doc and Lucian. So a very frag oriented lineup coming out from Mercenaries.
10
And the
seconds
fifth
to
has
go.
come in. He's gonna be on cam duty for the time being for this round.
5 seconds to insertion. Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
MI7 seems to be having a problem with his ping, maybe. So quick air jabs being set up by the Nomad for typical runouts from Piano, from Meeting. So runouts from your typical spots are gonna be not possible. And
Attackers have
this
located
seems
a
to
bomb.
be the defenders being funneled into one place from. That's gonna be a 3v5 now in favor of V5. V5 might just be able to get this game this round as well. Jaeger playing close console window. He does not get droned out or naded. This is a very powerful position for him. He sees the head of the IQ, but does not land his shots. I'm sorry, that's gonna be. That was probably the Nomad. And my
A bomb
bad.
has been located.
So yellow default angle being held by Mike from the skylight, and the Bandit returns. So no Legion
Attackers
getting
drop the
one,
diffuser.
and Jaeger's gonna get two. It's suddenly become a 3v3 from a 3v5. V5 not taking advantage of the man count that they had. With the dog on the board, V5 need, and there goes your Jaeger finally. So that means that console control should be available for V5. Nomad gonna be pushing down
Attackers
yellow.
recovered the bomb diffuser.
Legion being droned out. It's a good mine, and that's gonna be your Nomad off the board. So that's gonna be a 2v2 now. IQ's inside the bathroom. She gets, and V5 get the first kill. The first round on their attack. This seems promising for V5. So V5 slowly and steadily trying to build their lead up, but MRCZ had to play a 3v5. That does not seem quite fair, to be honest, and they still put up a quite tough fight. So if you think about it, MRCZ in a 5v5 on defense should essentially take this round. Scripted gonna change an IQ to a Nomad. That means that the Legion mines are gonna be a little bit safer, and you're gonna have to physically drone and check for the Legion mines. So
All set to jam.
Loading new mag.
Reloading! Here's a treat! Deploying ADS!
we're gonna have a little technical switcheroo. Give us a moment.
Five seconds to go.
Stop worrying about
We
grenades!
should be back in a second.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Alright.
am I audible?
Yes.
All right.
Right, I think my Discord crashed.
It did actually.
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought it was my internet, but
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, I stopped hearing something, and that's gonna be scripted off the board by.
oh,
by
hello.
Delusion.
Yes.
That's gonna
Back in
be
the game.
your. That's gonna be a Nomad of the board. This is a first pick on a Nomad. That's really unfortunate.
That is. It's gonna stop any rotation denial or flank denial in V5's favor. So, gonna like have those flanks wide open for the defenders to take.
And probably VFA is gonna have to change their style of attack now, because they can't be on repel a lot, since MRCZ
They're
could
gonna
just
have to-
impact and run out.
Yep. Be very careful of those runouts from basically all angles. Of the
There's no air jab on yellow stairs as well. This is gonna be interesting.
They
So
could put down a claymore there. I'm not sure if they have it.
Zofia's put down a claymore already somewhere, so that means that there's not gonna be any claymore. And Zofia's gonna probably see the Jaeger, and he
Oh,
gets
he
spotted.
does.
Jaeger gets hit for a lot of HP, and he
Hit
gets
up
an
quite
AD
a
down.
bit. And that's gonna stop any sort of push onto him from the projectile.
Ash gonna try to get some shots onto the Jaeger, but there's a reinforced wall over there. Yellow white peaks for yellow, and a flank from bottom yellow. Mozzie gets the Ash.
Kill.
This seems to be exactly what we were thinking about. D5 not going in for the trades, and
Not
Bandit going in for the knife.
right on the knife on the mic. He's gonna get the buck out of the equation. Now it's a 4v2 favor.
And Bandit
In
not
fact-
peeking properly and gets
He's
traded
3v2
out.
now.
3v2. Sophie just spotting the head of Ella maybe, but not being able to capitalize
Not
onto
being
it.
able to capitalize on that momentary lapse, a momentary like revelation in position that Ella had right there. Still, MRCZ have the man advantage and the
And
time
there
at
seems to be
hand.
yellow push from, and Zofia gets the
Yep,
Zofia
Zofia's gonna
gets
get that
through.
Ella.
Adikru
A double
on-
kill, in fact, onto Fatar inside the side, and now it's up to Mozzie, who's flanking from below, as you can see. And both of them on yellow seem to be unaware of the fact that Mozzie's gonna
Mozzie
come from below.
gets
He's gonna get the
one
first
good-
kill, but gonna get traded out immediately by Hibana to secure the round in favor of V5.
FIFA is really looking strong on attack right now. I mean,
They are.
To be fair, the first round on attack was a 3v5. That really doesn't count. But their second round, this was much more.
Much more cleaner, I would say. A bit more consistent from both teams, really. It was an even Stevens game for a long time. The yellow stairs proving to be the deciding grounds where the round was decided.
I don't think any attacker even went close to sight. I think after that, Nomad got killed on, I think, admin repel or something.
Something like that.
B5 just decided to go yellow. They were like, let's just full rush
Let's
yellow.
just stack up in here.
I mean, they put people one by one, and they did lose a lot of
Attackers
people,
need
to
to
be
locate
fair.
and defuse
But
as many bombs as they can.
but MRCZ almost got that round.
Attackers have
Had
located a bomb.
Mozzie been able to hit his shot onto the Hibana, Hibana was
He
not
would have
really high on
definitely gotten
HP. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kind of confrontation you'd expect of that Mozzie to have an advantage in, since he had the element of surprise taking down the Sophia, but Hibana just proved to be able to take him out faster than he could take out Hibana. So you know,
So MRCZ gonna switch up sites
10 seconds
immediately
to go.
and go to the basement. MRCZ needs 2 rounds to finish
5
this
seconds
off.
left
They might be
before
thinking,
insertion.
let's go basement and finish this off.
they definitely have a solid
Attackers'
chance still.
objective is to defuse
But
the bomb.
given how this game has proceeded so far, being somewhat attack heavy, so I would say odds still lean in favor of V5. But if the last round is anything to go off of, if MRCZ can just kind of surprise them with their flank game, roam game even, early roam game, they might be able to try, like they might be able to get this round.
Adik are already losing a little bit of HP, probably to a spawn peak or something. And this seems to be this. I don't know how this attack's gonna go, to be honest. I mean, they just stacked out outside the window.
Yep, they seem to be kind of pushing Visa and Lobby at the same time. You see Nomad here. And Nomad along with the Ash is going to break down the Visa door. You have Hibana watching the yellow stairs, and you have another 2 bodies headed towards Visa. In fact, this looks like a Visa push right here. On top of Lexus, who's in server space. And they're going to break
Seems
some
to be a
havoc.
blue rush, maybe.
The rush as Lexus is going to get
Goes
one,
down.
but will be traded out by Striptic as the Buck in blue is now has control of blue basically.
This seems to be a back push, and V5 not having the man advantage might be a
Might be a bit of an issue for them. In fact, as we have Vigil here, who's just
and
kind
a
of
team kill gonna come in from Mike on a
Attackers bomb
Cryptic,
diffuser has
and
been
that's
that's
gonna be a
unfortunate.
bomb
Fatar's gonna
diffuser.
also get. Yep, Fatar's gonna get that player who was also entering Visa, and now it's a 1v4 for Mike on the Nomad, and it's gonna be close. He's gonna have to try his hardest
Mike
as he
deciding
takes
to
out
just
Echo
boot
instead of
us.
Attackers
Sight.
Side.
located a bomb.
Someone's not watching those echo drones, I guess.
Clearly not enough intel being gathered as the camera is taken out. Now you have Mute pushing in. He's going to be taken out by the Nomad as well. However, from the back or from the front, that was Bandit. MI7 coming in and cleaning up the last kill, denying the Nomad, any sort of a 1v something, bragging rights.
1v4, I guess.
1v4, denying that 1v4 clutch situation. Bringing the game to round 10, match point for MRCZ.
Doesn't look
Yeah.
really bright for V5.
It really does not look like it's going to go anywhere in favor of V5, especially again with that last round. It just sort of holds to what I said before the unfortunate disconnect happened. Is that V5, when they start losing bodies, they start falling like a pack of cards, like a house of cards, if you will.
Yeah,
Uh,
V5, I think what V5 tries to do is that they try to get a lot of players into advanced positions so that they can set up crossfires. But I don't think that they have people to trade each other for those crossfires. I mean,
Attackers
you can
need to
hold a
locate
crossfire,
and
that's
defuse
true.
as many
But
bombs
you need
as
someone who can either watch your back for a crossfire or is watching an angle that the guy can peek from. V5
Exactly. Even
might-
if you are holding an angle, you need to even if you are holding a crossfire between people, sometimes in situations, especially in the tier of play that this game is being held at, you need to make sure that you're covering all possible angles. Just with as few players as possible. You need to be efficient with your management, and you need to be efficient with your bullets, and you need to be efficient with basically everything. It has to be a thought process geared towards saving and gathering intel, and making sure you win your gunfights.
5 seconds left
So
before insertion.
spawn peek gonna be coming in from the darkness probably. This is gonna be
Attackers
interesting.
must
There's gonna be
locate and
breaking
defuse a bomb.
piano and the connector windows. Gonna try
So
and see if
Adik are gonna
anybody's-
be spawning piano. This is gonna be a
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
And-
In
diffuser.
fact, with the Ash as
that's
Hibana goes
that's
down.
your Hibana,
Attackers
but
recovered the
then
bomb diffuser.
that's
We have more bodies spawning here than we initially counted. As Hibana's gonna go down. That's your hard breach right there.
And we've got 3 people stacked over here for the window for Doc.
Exactly.
Gets an air jab put.
He's still gonna be taking those shots, to the best of his ability. As Nomad is gonna come right by the window, not gonna get spotted. Hibana's not Hibana. Ash is gonna be taken out by Doc as well. Taha on fire here. sitting on that connector piano window. As Zofia tries to enter garage, gonna get shot up by the operator down here. Who is that?
That's
In
gonna
fact,
be
is that
Vigil.
one? That's
That's gonna be
Vigil.
Vigil.
As Taha gets another one, that's his third kill in the round, taking down Mike. Unfortunately, Moss is gonna go down as Fatar takes down Adi. Scriptic is also gonna be able to trade as hello there. Jaeger's gonna come in, steal the kill straight from Doc, who had his sights on the buck. Unfortunately, Jaeger was too quick on the trigger.
And that's gonna be
game, set, and match right there for MRCZ. 7-3. Viper, they had their moment in the middle. They had their spot.
they had their two attack rounds, I say.
Yep. They did have those 3 rounds where they tried to pull it back. Unfortunately, not enough. Like just with what happened when MRCZ won round, their 6th round, right? When they went 6-3, with that round, what happened was it's the same thing. They keep losing bodies too quickly. And this time, too, the spawn peak of Doc, that was just.
I think they did not expect a spawn peak coming in.
And
but
even if they did, they didn't play around it properly enough. Ash tried to peek it after Hibana died, and then Doc just getting more kills, sitting there in piano and connector. He shouldn't have been allowed to do that. He shouldn't have been allowed to see people running around out there. I don't know what happened with that third kill,
I think
but
if
that
someone
Ash,
could have just run in from yellow, maybe. I mean,
maybe not yellow, but maybe play the long game, go from Visa, go from admin, go to the second floor, do anything. Just if you're not confident in taking out that Doc, don't peek him.
that's true. Doc with his ACOG and one-shot headshot in Siege.
And more than that, Doc is just a tank.
I mean,
He's a tank.
Unless you hit his head, that's you're not winning that gunfight.
Yeah, if you get shot in the head, you're not winning that gunfight, obviously. But
An MP5
given the fact,
barely has any recoil.
yeah, with like low recoil, sure, the MP5's damage was nerfed, but not that that's gonna matter.
Because you'll be clicking on heads up there.
Exactly. And body shots in Siege really don't count for much. So
I mean, at that distance with an SMG,
yeah.
That was a tough game to watch for V5, probably.
Yeah,
but they're gonna have to.
Anybody supporting V5 is
Any
gonna.
V5 supporters in the chat had
Unfortunate.
a bad day probably today.
Yep, probably. Yep, indeed.
And
so MRCZ fans are gonna be rejoicing, or not rejoicing. They'll be like, "Oh, this is expected."
MRCZ fans are having a good day, to be honest. I did not expect this result, to be honest.
I was same. Maybe like a 7-5 or something like that. Something closer to an overtime or even an overtime outcome. Something like
I
that.
think the 7-3 does not represent exactly what happened. To be honest,
yeah, it doesn't.
The last
quite
attack
say.
round for MRCZ, they rushed site, right? So if it worked, it worked. It didn't work out. So V5 got around.
More than anything, numbers can only tell you so much, right? Like going back sometime later, you're going to look back at the scoreboard for this game. You're going to see a 7-3 with a 4-0 clean sweep to begin with, and you're going to think, then V5 were just getting wiped. Well, that's not quite the case. V5 definitely had moments where they could have won and just couldn't sort of follow through with it.
I think the key points where a game changes, right? Not the one kill that changes around or a run out that changes the round. We're more in favor of MRCZ rather than V5.
Exactly. They were just sort of allowed to bide their time, gather their intel and push, which made their executes look really easy. At the same time, V5, as soon as their body started falling, they just kept falling. You know, they couldn't stop the deaths. And once that happened, it was almost game over every time. But then there were rounds like that second round and then round 9 where V5 had a situation where they could have actually pulled it off, right? It looked like they could have pulled it off. But, just didn't work out for them.
Mute playing in connector on that second round where the air jab got MRCs the round. He had a C4 in his back. And
he did?
He had a C4 in his back and he could have chucked that C4 onto the window and connector.
I mean, at that range and at 1 HP, you're really looking at kind of like you're going to blow yourself up at that range as well because he was just so close to the window.
That's
C4
possible.
ranges in Siege are just incredibly long. You would be surprised at some of the C4 kills some people get.
That's true.
Hello,
Yes.
Yes.
Nuclear. Hello. Whom should we
Yeah.
add for the match?
IDs at MBK. Like,
Add-
I posted it in the group.
MBK, right? We should.
Yeah, MBK.
Okay, he's added, and is it being streamed or off stream?
It's on
it's being
stream. If you
trying to
want,
be streamed.
if you want,
Okay,
we
okay.
can cast it. I think right now.
Yeah, you can cast it. Come up.
All right.
Okay, then send me the invite. Avim is added on MBK's list. Just
Okay.
ask him to invite. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that's gonna be it for this game.
For this game, yep.
It was nice casting with you, Blackjack.
Definitely. Thank you for joining me, your dad. It's still weird saying that. But
was
I'm just
exactly
gonna-
what,
I'm
that
just
is
gonna
exactly
slide.
what I anticipated.
Anyway, I'm just gonna slide past that. Thank you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Great
for joining
games.
us.
Yep, great game. Well played to MRCZ. And
And-
props to V5. They tried. They gave it their
Let's go.
best.
And yep.
Yeah. So, yep.
Good
Thank you
work, let's
everybody
go.
for watching, and we will catch you in the next.